Hey, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. Hey, everything is happening. The Afro-American Museum, I'm starting with that. I'm telling you, that's going to be open the 24th. 24th of September. Be there. No excuse. It's free. You know, but if you want a little thing special there, become a charter member, and you be like Michael Jordan. He gave $5 million. You know, I didn't come close to that, but be a charter member and give more to this. Is one of the best projects that Afro Americans have had. And guess who I have on it? William Murray. And what's going to happen? He's going to talk about climbing Success Mountain. The climbing Success Mountain. Now, tell me a little bit about that. This book. And you know what? Last time you were on, you were supposed to tell me about this. A fair that you had, and
yes.
What, August 20th?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah, August 20th. And you were going to have the senior citizen and the young people involved there.
Yeah, and you know, and as always, it's a pleasure being with you, Ed, because you know we go so far back, and we always have stories to tell each other, and the conversations we have are just so powerful, Ed. I just love to sit down and have those conversations with you. But yes, we have 4 divisions of the Millionaire Mastermind Institute. And last month we did our Senior Citizens Division, did some sessions catered to senior citizens on building and growing your business, your idea. Because you're a senior citizen, you think I'm retired, but I want something to do. Well, you're a commodity of value because you have experience that you can't get without living your life of longevity.
Right.
And so we did that last month.
Now, how did it turn out with the youngsters and the seniors? You know, that's so important because they are the future. You know,
no doubt.
This 9 to 5 thing in which we're going through, which most of us went through, it's antique. We got to get into the business world. We got to get into the economics of this country.
Yes.
Richard Wright, the great African-American poet, say, you're not free unless you're economically free. And that is very, very, very true. And we need to think about that. We need to get economics.
And, you know, it was so successful, Ed. You know, it was a 4-hour class from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mm. At almost 4 o'clock, and the show, everything ended at 2 o'clock, a little later. At almost 4 o'clock, they were still there networking. Yeah. The kids, everybody was talking among each other. Mm-hmm. They would talk to this person for a while, and they'd go and talk to this. And it was after 2 hours afterwards, they were still networking. Mm-hmm. They were so excited, and each one was talking to each one, and it doesn't get no better than that. Mm-hmm. That's showing you that those who of like minds, the possibilities mm-hmm. of what can happen when you put together and you bring in the youth, and the seasoned citizens,
right? Exactly.
You know? And I mean, it was so powerful. You had to be there to feel the warmth, mm-hmm. the love, and everything that was in that room. While we were giving information afterwards, when we started networking, they didn't want to leave it. It was just that type of event and affair, and the atmosphere.
That was up in Laurel, Maryland.
That was up in Laurel, Maryland at the Institute, at the Millionaire Mastermind Institute, at 8101 mm-hmm. Sandy Spring Road, Suite 290 in Laurel, Maryland.
And tell us, Yvonne, tell us a little bit about the subject matter that impressed you mostly.
Well, I'm impressed with everything. When we have our events, I tell you, you walk away hungry for more. Mm-hmm. All of our events are full of so much information. Mr. Murray speaks on business, helping you to grow and start your business, but his main focus is mindset. Mm-hmm. And you're never too young or never too old to change your mindset mm-hmm. into a positive business mindset. So it's always very, very educational listening to Mr. Murray speak. And then also we have our lady who speaks on health and wellness. And
was that the thing that really got you excited?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, absolutely.
Tell us about it.
Well, one of our educators, she's also on our team, and she's a student of the Millionaire Mastermind Institute. She speaks about, well, she tells her story about how she lost weight and her journey from being unhealthy and a family history of being unhealthy to now she's healthy and she's going around teaching everyone. She was diabetic. She had
physical and mentally.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's something for all of us. And again, the young and the old. Even though our event was the senior division, it's always open to everyone. We slow it down a little bit so the seniors can catch on quicker.
Oh yeah, we
absolutely
got to give us a little more time,
absolutely.
But we'll be there.
But it's information that the young and the seasoned members can learn something from.
See, that's so very important that we solidify the seniors and the young people, because they are the future. Like I keep repeating, 9 to 5, it's antique.
It's antiquated.
And this is what we have to look at. You know what I mean? If you miss work or something like that, you say, "Oh, I'm tired. I can't make it. I'm sick." And you say, "Well, I lose money, so I have to go 9 to 5." What you want to do is get into the economics of this country, and this is what William does. He's been out here a long time trying to tell people what economically he's trying to get this marriage between the business world and the young people, is that, hey, you have to have your own, right, Bill?
One thing I always tell them to start off with, there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Mm-hmm. Because if your idea time is here, nothing can stop it. The universe will make sure that your idea becomes a means of you building your legacy, taking care of you, your family, your children, and the community, mm-hmm. which is important. And I try to get them to understand that no one can make you as happy as you can make you. Mm-hmm. No one can make you as wealthy as you can make you. See, job and rich aren't compatible. Because it's almost impossible getting rich working for someone.
Right.
See, they don't pay you what you're worth. They don't pay you what you're worth. They pay you what that job is worth.
And what you bring to the job.
What you bring to the job.
Right.
And it's just that simple. And Ed, I've been an entrepreneur for over 40 years. I'm a very successful businessman. And I'm passing on my knowledge and information that I've acquired over these years, because I travel all over the country speaking. I'm an information junkie. I love information. Even as far and as much as I'm out there speaking, Ed, I still study 4 hours a day. Mm-hmm. I can't teach you if I don't know, and everything is moving so fast now, changing so fast now, you got to keep up.
Yeah, well,
if you aren't out there doing the social media and doing everything that's modern day, mm-hmm. you're already 5 years behind those who are.
Right. Well, tell us about the upcoming
oh, yes, Ed, on the same day as I knew they couldn't handle the crowd down at the museum.
So I set up another one.
I gave them alternative. Mm-hmm. So on September 24th, from 10 to 2, we're doing another 4-hour class. Mm-hmm. It's called the 3 R's.
3 R's. That means we're going to have some young people there.
The 2 H's and the L of business. Mm-hmm. When people say, what are the 3 R's, the 2 H's, and the L of business? Come to and find out. Mm-hmm. And it's just, we taking you, every time we do one of these, we're just taking you to the next level, mm-hmm. to the next level, right. to the next level. And it takes that, Ed. Mm-hmm. You don't have to sit, I'm not saying don't go do a 4-year college or a 2-year college, but when you have someone that can give you the now, mm-hmm. or what you need to do now, mm-hmm. don't pass up that opportunity. Right. Because when you go to college, here's the thing, the people who are most successful are the ones who run their life like a business. Because mm-hmm. your life, people say, I'm not an entrepreneur. Yes, you are. Mm-hmm. If you're living and breathing, your life is a business, mm-hmm. organized as such. So when you go into business, it's just a way of life. Mm-hmm. It's not something you got to really just say, I got to learn. No, you're going to always learn. Because I told you, I've been 40-something years, I've been an entrepreneur, and I'm studying 4 hours a day. Mm-hmm. Every day I'm somewhere studying, I read. I'm just a junkie for information.
Well, what is this climbing success, the Success Mountain? How did you come up with that title?
I'm a very spiritual person, and I teach from spiritualness. And I believe that your spirit talks to you on a daily basis, many times. And I woke up one morning, it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I believe in quiet time. So I lay there quiet and my spirit talks to me. And honestly, that was given to me. And when I sit there and laid in bed for a couple of half hours just talking with my spirit. And when I got up and started typing, it just fell in place. But what that book is, Ed, it's about you. When you read that book, that character is you. You look and say, okay, this is me. And it tells you how to do what needs to be done because it's in you already. You just got to know that it's there and do what it takes to bring it out. Because the thing is, your life force, your God force, your universal God is working 10 times as hard as you to give you everything you want. So if you got somebody working 10 times as hard as you and you're working at it, and that's what that big book does, it's a story that tells you that it's inside of you, and that all you got to do is do what needs to be done and bring it out.
Sure, right. You got to do it. You got to make a commitment. That's what a lot of people don't do. You know, they easily, failure is one thing that they don't understand. It's part of success.
You can't have a moment without the other.
People feel if I try something and I fail, that's the end of it. You know, most people that have money have failed more times than they've been successful. They were fortunate enough to hit on something after continually try. Yvonne, tell us something about this article. You know, I gave you an article concerning when the CEO helps you find your next gig. That was in the Wall Street Journal today, and you had some comments on that. Tell us about it.
Well, you know, I thought that was a brilliant idea. This young man is bringing people in, young people in, and he's showing, in 3 weeks he has them revise, update their resume so that he can prepare them to go off and become entrepreneurs. He's introducing them to trainers and recruiters to help them improve their resume and then go out there, because he doesn't expect them to stay there with him for those 10-year commitments that people used to do.
Yes, right.
Now he knows that people aren't staying long, so he's preparing them to move on, but not to move to another job, but to move to their own business. That's brilliant.
That's a win-win.
And actually,
and the thing
it's
about
a win-win
what
situation.
I liked about it too is that he introduced them to ways of making their resume more likable.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, how many of us really know how to do that or teach the youngsters how to how can you sell yourself? Do you know how to sell yourself? I think most of us don't.
Most of us don't.
They really don't.
And most of us leave out important things that when we tell someone about it, they say, well, you should have put it in your resume.
And you don't even know that you should put it in your resume.
Yeah. Right.
And
How many times that happen?
there's a story, there's a story that I just read, and it was amazing. This gentleman had a $1 million company, so someone came here and said, here, you want to hire this lady. This lady knows she's what you need. So he talked with her, and he left on vacation, telling him, hire this lady. So when he came back 3 weeks later, he asked for her. And they says, well, we couldn't hire her. He says, but I told you to hire her. They said, here, look at her Facebook page. And they looked at her Facebook page. There she was out there smoking, drinking, the language she was using on the Facebook, the picture she was putting on there. And see, that people don't realize that's your resume.
Right.
Absolutely.
I tell people you got to have a clean, decent Facebook page, LinkedIn page, and your YouTube channel. That's your resume. People come and say, Mr. Murray, how do we find what's the Millionaire Mastermind Institute about? I tell them, go to the Facebook page or go to the YouTube channel, and that's what we are, what we
website.
teach.
Right.
Or go to the website, because everything is there. And they got to realize what you do is not really now, because of today's technology, it ain't personal just to you, it's to the world.
Right.
So you got to be careful what you put out there. Now,
And
one thing
have to make sure that it's correct.
yeah, and one thing I tell you about the book, and I'm not bragging about my book, but that's a brilliant book, a marvelous. I've had so many people buy the book and come back and say, "Oh, I got to buy this. I got to give one to somebody. Give this to somebody.
Right.
Give this to somebody."
Right.
So they're not buying one; they're buying several. And it's not. I'm not bragging on what I did. I'm just saying that what's there needs to be written, and everyone can understand it.
Well, see, people need guidance, and just like I say with the CEO situation, you know, I made some statement. I guess I'll have to pay for it later about MGM. What kind of training that they're giving the youngsters at MGM down at National Harbor?
Training to have a job.
Say, are they training them for domestics? Or are they training from CEO?
They train them just to have a job.
Yeah, but see, that's very important, and I talked to a few politicians about that too. You know, that they need to check and make sure the MGM is training, exposing young people to the CEO position.
They're not.
And see, this is very important because, see, you can't live in a certain neighborhood if you work at McDonald's. McDonald's is your only, there's very few places that you can afford. And this is what they have to realize, you know, is that if they're going to train young people, they got to give them the top of the line. Like this young man here in the Wall Street Journal, he's giving them exposure, and you're in your group, you're giving them exposure and know-how and things not to do and things that they need to do.
The people that come into my institute, even down to my staff, I tell them, I don't want you to come here and stay with me forever.
Right.
I want you to learn what I'm teaching. When I bring all these educators in, you're taking notes too. Like I say, sometimes you're the teacher and sometimes you're the student. Well, the only time I'm the teacher is when I'm on stage. When I'm not on stage, I'm the student sitting there listening just like everyone else. So when I don't want them to stay with me. I want them to learn how to build a business, go out there on their own, and hire those and teach those how to build a business. And like that's a win-win situation with that.
Yeah.
He realizes his value is bringing people in, teaching what you know, and then pass them on.
And open the doors.
Open the doors.
And you know, Mr. Brown, also what's nice about the Millionaire Mastermind Institute, we also do an empowerment session on Tuesdays. Excuse me, it's a conference call. And one thing about Mr. Murray is he wants you to network. So he's not just about helping you to become an entrepreneur, but expanding your business as an entrepreneur. So he promotes on his calls, at his events. He wants you to promote your business, make connections, network, meet people. Because as we were talking about earlier, connection is the key.
Yes.
This young man is connecting people in this Wall Street Journal. That's what Mr. Murray is doing. He's really, really big on you networking and making connections.
And that's what really African Americans need to do.
Absolutely.
They need to get away from, well, this is my business, I'm going to do this by myself. You have to network.
Absolutely.
Networking, just like if I get a contract or hear about a contract that you have the abilities to fill, I'll let you know. You know what I mean? That type of networking, that's what goes on. These government contractors are excellent examples of that, where one gets the contract, and he pays in his contract the thing that he can't offer. He calls his buddy and say, hey, Jim, we need X and X over here. And networking, and so there's millions of dollars. What was it? $550 million worth of planes, you know, that they order. Well, each step there, they have different entrepreneurs.
Your contractor had to build
contractor. You be subcontractor, and many of the people that make money are subcontractors. They're not the big boys. The big boys, they have their names out, and they get a certain percentage, and then they contact all the people that qualify to do the work.
And, you know, there's a story I tell, and I happened to meet the gentleman who was the head of the construction when he built Atlanta's airport back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And, you know, remember the mayor said, we want to use minority people to build it. So they came back and told him, we don't have any that's large enough or that has the capabilities of building these runways. He had a meeting with them and told them, these contractors know how to do a driveway, how to lay concrete stuff and do a street. Well, that's all a runway is. So you get one to do this section, one to do that section, and all of it gets done. So you don't have to have one contractor that does everything.
Right.
You have a lot of small contractors get the job done. That's what that's about.
Yeah, and see, this is what we have to understand. You know, that's where the big money is. As government contractors, they spend more money than any corporation. You talk about a corporation, government is a corporation. They don't do anything themselves. Everything is contracted out.
It is. And anytime, see, the difference between someone being successful and having a good reputation and someone not is the ones who bring people in to build and grow them, not to just constantly forever be an employee. Because like you said, Ed, those 20, 30, 25, 30-year periods of time working for a company are over. That went by way of the dinosaur. It's antiquated. You're right. And so you want to come in with a company and see, people don't realize when you go apply for a job, they don't interview you alone. You should interview them. What classes, what are you offering for me to grow down the line? Are there opportunities? Are there classes? Are there courses that through you?
In other words, you do your homework. You find out basically much about the company as possible, not just the salary that they're paying you. The exposure is very important, because you may take a job that gives you the exposure that you couldn't pay for. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
You could pay for it if it's a company that specializes in certain things, in electronics or something. Well, actually, you're right there on the front line. So the things that you are exposed to, you can't get in school.
You know, there are a lot of companies out there, major companies, that hire the institute to come in and talk to their employees, or come in and talk to their management to see what are we doing wrong, or what could we do to improve on what we're doing. I just came back from doing a 3-day event at this major corporation that has almost 25,000 employees. And we sit down and broke down what they were doing, and I explained to them what they need to do for their employees to be happier, and for them to get more product out of the same amount of hours. Because, you know, if you don't have a happy employee, the work that needs to be done is not going to be done in the period of time you want it done.
Right, because he has no interest.
No.
See, because some of the companies even don't make it possible for their own employees to bear shares and get dividends from the work that they're doing. See, the shares are out of sight. When the average guy that's working there can't afford them.
And, you know, there's something, and we laugh about it. But if you have a job and you're working from check to check, I tell them that's not a payday. That's just a po day, because you're broke before you get it. Right after you get it, you're broke. It's not a payday. That's just a po day.
Yeah.
They're paying you, and you're going to stay poor. Like I say, rich and a job. They don't. Just like oil and water.
Well, people know 3% of the people control all the money in the country.
Ain't that something?
3% of the people
of the wealth.
control, right?
That's
and people have to realize that, you know, is that which part of it you want to be. Yvonne, tell us a little bit about the male and female coming into the situation. You know, sometimes the male have difficulty because some of their habits, and the female, and because of that we still have segregation in the workplace.
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting you say that, because nowadays the women are really becoming empowered. So you don't find that that's the problem so much anymore. It still exists. But I think the women are starting to claim their rights in the work field, in the entrepreneurial field. And from what I understand, African American women are the #1 entrepreneurs.
That's true.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that is definitely changing for the better. For women, it's starting to balance itself out.
Well, what do you suggest the male, Afro-American male, what should he do as far as getting into the work world?
into the entrepreneurial world?
Yes.
Well, I would suggest you come join us at the Millionaire Mastermind Institute to start educating yourself, start changing your mindset. It starts with your mindset. Start changing your mindset and start surrounding yourself with people who are where you want to be. Hang around people who make you stand on your tippy toes instead of people who make you bend down.
Well, that's a positive thing, and peer pressure is one of the problems I think that the male have.
Absolutely.
Is that the peer pressure, he wants to belong, you know, but just like when I was growing up, I never will forget this. Is that I was in high school, and my peers would say, "Here come the Brown brothers." No, here come the square Brown brothers, because we didn't smoke or drink, you know. But what the youngsters here, they are inundated with this peer pressure. I gotta have these shoes or this coat,
or this lady's outfit,
and things, this outfit, you know. But they don't understand is that what happens. You have to put your best foot forward when you get into the work world. I mean, you have to remember, if you're going in the environment, there's certain things you don't wear, certain things, you don't wear your pants down below your belt and that type of thing if you're going out for the job. Name some things that you feel that'll help a young person to get a job as far as dress code and things like that.
The way they need to present themselves?
Yes.
Oh, well, I believe that just the way you're dressed right now, Mr. Brown, you need to come in a button-up shirt with a nice tie, nice belt tucked in, your nice pair of shoes on, and you stand up strong, and you own your space, and you go in there and you sell yourself. But I think it all starts, Mr. Brown, with the people you surround yourself with, because you are absolutely, absolutely. So you need to look at your top 5,
right,
or as I like to say, the people in your front row. You need to look at that and see, because that's your influence. That's the people that influence you.
Okay, William, tell us about this coming date there.
Well, the 24th of September, the event, the 3 R's, the 2 H's, and the L of business is going to be held at the Institute at 8101 Sandy Spring Road, Suite 290 in Laurel, Maryland, from 10 to 2.
And don't forget now, we got to have some young people, and
they're going to be there, and even the
young people. And Yhonne is a great example how positive your program is, because Yhonne, when you first started, she wasn't in it. Then all of a sudden, she got with your program, and now she's out there pushing your program, which is a positive thing for you and the young people. They need to see is that they have to get out and do some of these things. Change the environment. You know what I mean? Whatever
we give them the roadmap to be successful. Just that simple. We're your GPS to get you where you want to go.
Okay.
I just want to add real quick.
Remark?
Well, I just want to add that we are inviting everyone to come out and join us on September the 24th and bring plenty of business cards, because there is plenty of networking opportunity at our events.
Great.
So we hope
the book so they can
everyone there,
and to get them the book, because I can guarantee you that it'll be something that you want to pass on.
Right, but basically that's what young people have to realize. But anyway, I want everyone to remember the 24th of September, we're going to Afro-American Museum. Don't forget to be there. You know, but it's important, it's free, and this is a golden opportunity for everybody of all races to see what the African-American has presented, has done for this country.